and welcome to Marketing Edge on TV, Nigerians' leading initiative in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute wholesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix encompassing thorough and in-depth or aimed at promoting the brand idea. I'm Ogale Abikele.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Good to have you back. First on Marketing Edge on TV is brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing, advertising, and communication in Nigeria and around the world. Now on brand news. The Advertisers Association of Nigeria (ADVAN) has commenced legal actions against the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria (ARCON) over ongoing disagreements about the recently promulgated advertising law. This was disclosed by Osamede Uwubanwe, president of the Advertisers Association of Nigeria (ADVAN), in an exclusive interview with Marketing Edge, where he expressed concerns over the new advertising law and its impact on businesses, especially with the freedom of trade principles and contract agreements. According to him, the association had, in a document which was sent to the EPES advertising regulatory body, requested interpretations to sections of the law which it considered to be in dissonance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He added that the document, which constituted 50 questions, was sent to the agency more than 30 days ago, adding that the association would not hesitate to approach the court soon. On his part, Dr. Olalekan Fadolakpo, Director General of ARCON, maintained that the only letter that was received from the EPES Advertising Regulatory Agency was a pre-action notice to sue, which was acknowledged. Meanwhile, the federal government has inaugurated the 6-man Advertising Offences Tribunal to promote ethical standards and professionalism in the advertising industry. The tribunal will be chaired by Justice Cecilia Olaterigu. In a bid to inspire the African youth and unlock the continent's potential, Airtel Africa has launched an electrifying brand campaign as part of its vision to forge a deeper emotional connection with young people across the continent. The campaign, named A Reason to Imagine, was simultaneously unveiled in all operating countries of Airtel Africa, including a spectacular launch event in Nigeria. According to Carl Cruz, CEO of Airtel Nigeria, the campaign is driven by the profound insight that in Africa, imagination reigns supreme as the only qualification that truly matters. The A Reason to Imagine campaign signifies Airtel Africa's unwavering dedication to empowering the younger generation, showcasing their incredible stories, talents, and aspirations. Eat and Go master franchisee of Domino's Pizza, Goldstone Creamery Ice Cream, and Pigberry Gourmet Yogurts has announced the comeback of Smally Pizza pack size with a nationwide show trip to excite its teeming consumers. According to the quick service restaurant, the electrifying road shows, which is the company's latest initiative to thrill its customers, will spread smiles, satisfy cravings, and create unforgettable moments for Nigerians. At every stop along the journey, lucky Nigerians will have the opportunity to be treated with the delectable taste of the diverse range of flavors Domino's has to offer, paired with a bottle of Pepsi for an enriching experience. Smally Pizza will be available in all Domino's branches for as low as 1,200 naira with a free Pepsi. An American multinational pharmaceutical and biotechnology company, Pfizer, has appointed Publicis Group and Interpublic as its global marketing partners after a review that began early in the year. According to the company, the review was managed internally by the CMO who joined the company last year. The firm has worked with numerous agencies globally, including Assembly and Karat Media, as well as Grey for Creative. According to an agency research, Pfizer spent $1.476 billion on major media last year, and about 40% of that outlay is earmarked for digital. The Publicis Group assignment includes media data and production. When I was brand news, next is branding focus after this break.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. Her reason to imagine is slay. His reason is to be the GOAT. Theirs is to take the beat and make it lit. They want to test edgy till it is fire. Their reason for imagination is to add riz in style. Her reason to imagine is finesse. And hers is to find what's new and bussin'. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
Where's Glory?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Glow! Where Glow now?
I thank you.
Glow, don't go village. Tell all our customer abi.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow dedicated 10x. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Can't even summer me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give all of us, so you they enjoy up to 15,000 naira credit and data.
And I say I never finish you. See, now say if we enjoy if we not join Glow dedicated 10x. When I go get 1,000 naira welcome credit. You just carry your phone, dial *777#. Finish.
Correct.
Glow, you don't win. You don't do.
Una still dey here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow.
Be safe now, Glow be dey fine. Now Glow be dey go.
Okay, so
Enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow Berekete 10X. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Now on Brand in Focus. The future of advertising is beyond dispute immersive. With soft metrics to complement the hard and fast ones advertisers are familiar with, brands are faced with an increasingly long list of factors which impact return on investment (ROI), some of which include the need to adapt to multi-screen driven ecosystems. However, advertising to Generation Z or Zoomers is another challenge altogether. As more Gen Zs become unresponsive to the old formats of advertising, interactive ads are becoming a vital part of the media mix. According to a recent report by Kantar Milbard Brands Ad Reaction, nearly 50% of Zoomers tend to avoid and block ads. The leading global research agency specializing in advertising effectiveness, strategic communication, media, and brand equity research also revealed that this same demography, Gen Z, has a shorter attention span than previous generations and generally favors videos that are less than 10 seconds in length, as well as preferring ads that aim to engage and entertain them. Going by the foregoing trends, it's easy to conclude that advertisers have been dealt an unwinnable hand. But by leveraging the potential of interactive ads, brands will find that mobile advertising is an industry in which they can still find success, especially with the Zoomers. However, there is a pervasive lack of familiarity among in-house marketers and agencies with the technologies and companies that specialize in these interactive ads. In the past, the biggest barrier to entry to interactive ads were the extensive coding skills and time frames needed to create them. Interestingly, the last 5 years have seen unprecedented innovation in the marketplace for interactive ad production. With tools like Gearbox, brands and agencies are handed a simple, fast, and no-code way of creating interactive ads on a silver platter. On the global scale, an increasing number of brands are making interactive ads part of their strategy. The technology on which interactive ads run is a far cry from the early days of playable ads to the extent that it is now powerfully simple to run an interactive campaign. While the clicks garnered on traditional ads are an effective metric, interactive ads have been found to record far high engagement and action rates. Not only that, softer metrics like attention and brand uplift will be gaining more traction despite claims that suggest that contrary, interactive ads are very much scalable. When I was branding focus, next is industry conversation where we have interactions with distinguished personalities in the business of brand management. Well, this week we have with us the CEO of TBWA Concept, Mr. Kelechi Wonsu, after this break.
Every day, life presents hopes, dreams, and challenges. Challenges that can become successes with a little help. Because a little help can empower you to go from despair to celebration. A little help can keep you going until the race is won. A little help can turn bundles of anxiety into a bundle of joy. And with Glow Data, you get much more than just a little help. You get the biggest data deals in town to make every day glow with small wins and big wins. Dial *777# to select your Glow Data plan.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Hello and welcome to Industry Conversation, a segment on Marketing Edge on TV, where we have interactions with distinguished personalities who have made great impact in the business of brand management. Well, today we have with us the CEO of TBWA Concept, Mr. Kelechi Wonsu. So pleased to have you on Industry Conversation, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And you know, the last time we had you on Industry Conversation was like many years ago. And a lot has happened in the industry so far. I would like to get your assessment of the advertising industry in recent times.
Well, it's a mixed bag. Some things have gotten a whole lot better. You've got more digital. You've got perhaps more data. You have some younger agencies, creative agencies, media agencies, digital agencies trying to push some good work out there. There's certainly more work that is gone through the digital channels in terms of volume and perhaps also good work. On the flip side, I think we're losing people. A couple of our people are moving and doing what you call jackbar. They're also moving sometimes to the client side. We are also losing relevance in terms of the whole creative industry. We need to be a whole lot more competitive than we are at the moment. We need to improve on a couple of things. But overall, generally, the economy, the GDP, the rise and fall of the GDP affects advertising spend and has a concomitant effect on advertising the way you know it. So those are factors that have depreciated the industry, so to speak. So like I said, it's a mixed bag, but we keep moving.
Yes, you highlighted the impact of technology.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of innovation in that space. Digitization has taken over, most part of the advertising business. We've seen that advertisers are shifting advertising spend towards the digital. But now, talking about innovation for the advertising industry, how would you evaluate the response of, creative agencies?
Well, the response is that everyone must understand digital as life, actually. It's not just about a creative industry or the advertising industry. We need to understand the dangers posed by technology. We also need to understand the assets and the gains brought by technology. It's how life is. It's a duality of partnering. You take the good and the bad. And the innovations are useful to us. We have to augment what we do by leading on technology. And we also need to make sure that we don't lose our jobs to technology. Because if you think about all of the AI-induced things that are happening, there could be a threat. There may not necessarily be as much a threat right now, but there could be a threat in the future if we don't understand how to use those technologies to improve or augment what we're doing. So that's the duty of every agency person, agency head, agency management, to understand the prevalent technology, understand where the future is going, and see how to use it. We must be able to do that.
Okay, understanding the dynamism that, of course, technology has brought into the business of advertising. How would you, what would be your assessment of the shift in terms of change that's come as a result of this new technological solutions we're beginning to see?
So it's often that we worry about how technology comes, but the reality is that there's a basic of marketing. If you were at the colloquium last 2 weeks, IDN talked about a foundation. Marketing is marketing. And in some times, people are sort of wary about using the words marketing. The foundation of what we do is marketing. It's digital marketing. It's marketing communication. Everyone who is working in this industry or the ecosystem must learn, understand, and apply marketing. When you know those basics, it's easy for you to then understand the various dimensions of it. Marketing communication, be it public relations, be it activations, experiential, digital, the creative, all of them are purposed to help marketing of brands and services. So that is the fundamental thing. Once you understand that, then you begin to understand how the technology provides impact or provides improvement in marketing. For instance, with digital, you've got to learn about new digital channels. But you also need to learn about how the digital ecosystem works from a creative point of view. But that doesn't take away the marketing from it. Once we miss that foundation, we miss the work that the marketing should do or the marketing communication should do.
I think when Mr. IDN spoke about, the foundation of marketing for all the various, parts
disciplines,
of the entire in the integrated marketing communication space. I felt that was very important for us to bear in mind. But moving on, we've seen that there's been a decline in terms of talent optimization, the brain drain syndrome. You highlighted that in your earlier response. But I'd like to know how practitioners, the creative agencies are mitigating the adverse effect on the business.
I don't know if there's anybody has all the solutions, and it's not just in our industry. There's a general economic problem. Now they want to stop doctors from moving after 4 or 5 years, before 4 or 5 years after they graduate. In TBWA concept, what we've done essentially is that we have an open door policy. If you've worked in our organization and you're really good and you've been, very, very committed and you've done work, the tendency is that you could work from anywhere or you could come back after you leave. So we tend to have a return policy. But most critical, now people are working remotely. We have one of our digital strategists who's working from the UK. In fact, we've got 2 or 3 people working out of the UK. The UK is okay because the timing is not so different. If you're in far off places, 8 hours, 9 hours ahead, behind is a difficulty. But that's how one of the ways to sort of vitiate that movement that people are doing. The other one is that you've got to keep training people in the pipeline to come up fast. 220 million people, mostly young, mostly educated, ambitious. There must be enough people in our country to fill the gaps. And if you look at the numbers I saw 1.6 million people. I saw that on channels. The fact box, the guy who does the channel strategy, says 2022, 1.6 million people. It's not a lot of people. The only problem is that those who are going are the most skilled ones, the ones who are able to get a job and all of that. That's the problem. But we've got enough people, in theory, to fill the line. So it's a problem. I wouldn't deny that it's not a problem. It's a problem because you have people you've schooled, trained in your own culture, your own way of working, and they get up and go. It's a gap. We will keep, we're all wondering how to fill that gap. But in the meantime, what we need to do is allow people to work remotely, all right, and have a pipeline of young, ambitious people who can fill those positions while we're talking about a larger macroeconomics and hoping that we'll have better governance.
I'm going there.
Yes.
Because when we talk about the challenges, you are having to grapple with as a creative agency. There's a whole lot when it comes to the economy. So we're beginning to see that clients are cutting back on advertising spend. And we've spoken to some advertisers who have, expressed concerns over the economic, problems. So how are creative agencies actually responding to this in optimizing the limited marketing budget now available for them?
Well, every agency has its own way of responding. As a group, as a marketing communication group, or as advertising agencies, we've got varied responses. For some of us, the challenge is how do we make sure that the value, we're creating value. If you create superior value for clients, they won't go. Right? That's where you think about this journey. Data analytics. How does the data fuel the briefing, the work you're doing, even right up to product development? How do you use data and analytics to do predictive analysis, tests of the work, creative work? How do you use it to modify your campaigns, what the campaign is going on, your channels or whatever it is you're doing? How do you get data at the back to evaluate? Attribution. This is where we did well, this is where we didn't well. You go and optimize the campaign. That is a cycle that we must begin to use. We haven't measured things as advertising agency people. We're very good with the creative part. We're talking about that. We need to begin to bring a whole lot more data into what we're doing, which is where you go to a client and say, if you do this and do that, you'll get X market share, right? And you can actually pay me X amount of money if we achieve that. We need to have this conversation. So that is one way of getting around it. The other way we have done as an agency is what we call diversification. So we're building platforms. We've always built platforms. We mostly built it for a lot of clients, and we didn't quite charge them enough for it. Okay? So we now intentionally are building platforms that belong to us as an agency. We're building content that belong to us as an agency, and we're selling them. It's tough sometimes because you're investing in it. We're learning in it. We're learning how to do it, but that's a way of diversifying the talent. There's a general conversation in the industry about what is the value of creativity. I think many of us are clear that creativity has not been evaluated properly. We haven't given the value to clients. Especially in the creative industry, we sometimes get a short end of the stick, and I don't want to whine about it. For instance, I go to a client, he asks for a pitch. We do the pitch, we win the pitch, and he says, okay, I like what you've done. Please talk to procurement. I go to procurement, and procurement says, very good work. For all this, we're going to pay you 500,000 naira. I said, really? So you are expecting to be appointed to be retained as the agency, but you're being looked at as a hot shop. So someone says, okay, I'll pay you 2 million. What's the worth of the idea? That idea that has been cracked by the agency. I think as a country, as advertisers, I think there is the need for all of us to begin to appreciate creativity and really pay for it so that you can get more creativity. That's one of the reasons why you have people leaving. Because there's a disparity in the pay structure from the client side to the agency side. That disparity forces people to either move to the client or move away. That's a structural problem that you're having with advertising.
So in your earlier response, you talked about data and insight, and we know how fundamental that is in achieving, successful campaigns.
Sure.
How to, evaluate the success of those campaigns. So, given all that is happening in the marketing, advertising ecosystem, what would be your opinion of data availability, the one that is reliable and accurate?
I'd say we probably have enough data. I think what we don't have is enough people mining them.
Okay.
We don't have enough analysts getting them out. What is data? It's knowledge as fact about little things. There is a guy who worked for TBWA World, but his name is David Uribe. We asked him to help us set up a data framework for our agency. His first question he asked, what do you want to measure? So what do we want to measure? We may not have all of the data in nice chunks and places where you can pick them up, but we've got enough data to be able to start investigations and be able to go dig down further. There is enough. There's probably quite a number of body of data across different disciplines, across different sectors, across different markets, but we just need to look for them, mine them, and analyze them and use them.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
But that's the much we can take on Marketing Edge on TV this week. Do well to join us same time next week for the second part of our conversation with Mr. Kelechi Wholesome. I'm Ogali Abikele. See you next time.